today I'm going to go through exactly what you need to do if you have an Apple iPhone and you want to boost a post, and how to get around the consequence of boosting a post with your Apple iPhone.
What's going on, gang? It's your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard coming back at you with a brand new video.
So guys, just for a bit of context, last week I was speaking to a very good friend, somebody who was wanting to promote some videos of his, and he wanted to use the boost function on the Meta app. Okay, not something I would recommend. I would always recommend using the Meta ad manager if you're going to create ads, but this is a really simple way of creating ads. If you want to do something super simple and seamless, you can definitely boost a post. There's no problem with that. It's not something I would recommend, but if you are doing it, and something that I said to him was like, are you using an iPhone? And he said yes. And I said, okay, cool, that's fine. But are you boosting it through the Meta app? And he said yes. So guys, I'm going to tell you exactly why that's a bad thing, and exactly the consequence of doing that, and what you can do if you have got an Apple iPhone and you're wanting to boost a post through the Meta app. Okay, guys, stick around. We're going to get into it today. Grab your coffees and grab your hats. It's time to spin up some ad magic. Okay, guys, so as you know, I may not have to go through this, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Boosted posts are a simple way of you being able to create an ad from a post that you really like on your Facebook page, either via the Meta or the Meta Business Suite. You can do it there as well. Not something I advise. Like I said, I think the Meta Ad Manager is way, way better because you can fine-tune your ads and you can really, really get to the nitty-gritty of the details of your ads. And that's something that I recommend because you want to be able to fine-tune some stuff. But if you're looking for a quick and easy fix, a quick and easy solution, boosting a post is absolutely fine. So I can show you exactly what you need to do with the Apple iPhone. Okay, so we're on the Apple iPhone and we're going to navigate to the Boost Post section, and I'm going to show you how to boost this post because everything looks the same, right? Everything looks similar. You would not be aware that if you had an Apple iPhone, that there'll be any differences to when you're boosting this versus something like an Android, okay? So you want to make sure on your Apple iPhone that you're doing certain things and not other things. Because what's the consequence, guys? Well, I'm going to tell you about something called the Apple tags. It's the Apple service fee. This is only activated if you're boosting a post on an Apple iPhone. That's why I keep saying, don't boost a post with an Apple iPhone, not through this app, Pages app, not through the Meta app. Because, why? The Apple tax is 30% of the cost, okay? Was something that was the new rules around the Apple tax was featured last February. So this isn't new information, but clearly some people are still unaware that this is happening or that this exists. Okay, so if you have an Apple iPhone, don't boost it with the Pages app, don't boost it with a Meta app, because I'm going to go through the documentation. Okay, this is the Meta documentation around this. Okay, the Apple service fee. Very cheeky, very annoying, very naughty. People might not even be aware that this is happening. Starting from February 2024, last year, when you boost a post to the Facebook iOS app, your iPhone or your iPad, okay, and that's actually also a thing, this is important. You'll be paying through the Apple Store. Because of this, Apple has a service fee that is added, right? This service fee is retained by Apple and not by Facebook/Meta. This means if you're boosting your post through an Apple iPhone, you're paying 30% more for your ads. Or actually, you're getting 30% less results if you do this. 30%, guys. 30%. That's how much Apple charges to buy something through an app. And because you have the Facebook /Meta Pages app or the Meta app, and you're paying for your ads through the app, it means that you're paying an extra 30% for that Apple tax, okay? Which means that you're getting 30% less ad spend, less ad power if you're boosting it this way. That's why it's really, really important, guys. 30% is huge. 30% is massive, okay? I'll actually create a bit of a spreadsheet here to show you guys the differences, okay? Here we have boosting on an iPhone. Okay, so you can see the differences here, guys. And don't get me wrong, I'd never, ever recommend spending £10,000, dollars, whatever, on a booster post. But this shows that the difference in results that you can get. I just wanted to kind of explain that within the spreadsheet, right? So, for example, if you decide to boost a post for £100 or $100, £30 of that is going to Apple, okay? Which actually means that you're only getting £70 worth of ad spend for your £100, right? So, if you're optimizing for views, for example, right? I want to boost my post and I want to get more views. If you do it through an Apple iPhone, with boosting it through there, you may see something like 14,000 views, right? Now let's compare that to not boosting with an iPhone, okay? You spend £100, the whole £100 goes to your ads. Nothing goes to Apple, which means that for the same price of you boosting a post through an iPhone, you get 14,000 views. If you boost it not through an iPhone, you get 20,000 views. Okay. Next example, you're spending £500 on boosting a post. £150 of that, if you're boosting it through an iPhone, goes to Apple, which means that you only get £350 worth of ad spend. Okay. All your CPAs, all your cost per results, everything goes up if you do that. If you're not boosting through an iPhone and you spend £500 on boosting a post, you get 100,000 views. Look at the difference. 70,000 views when you boost through an iPhone versus 100,000 views if you don't. Okay. So not only are you paying Apple, but you're getting less results. Okay. Because the money that you've spent into it is actually paying Apple. Okay. So 30% of all of your costs that you put through the app goes to Apple. They minus 30%, and then the rest of it goes on your ads. Okay, so really, really important, guys, because you don't want to be spending extra, right? And you don't want your cost per results to go up because you're not able to spend as much as you want to without even realizing that there's fees. There's fees through Apple iPhones. Fees through Apple iPads. Okay. Next example, £1,000. Spend £1,000 on with an iPhone, you get 140,000 views, for example. If you spend £1,000 not boosting a post through an iPhone, you can get 200,000 views. So you can really see the numbers here, guys. I'm not going to go through the rest, but you can really see the numbers. If you're spending a certain amount, how much of that actually goes to Apple? If you're spending, £2,000 on boosting a post, £600 of that goes to Apple, guys. That's £600 less on your ads. Okay. Yeah. Look at the difference. So I've put the differences here between boosting a post and not boosting a post. For £100, the view difference is 6,000, 30,000, 60,000 views, 120,000. It's a lot. And the more you spend, the more you won't see results in your ads because you're spending money on that additional 30%, guys. Right. So how to avoid this? Okay. Going back to the documentation, mate. Okay, guys, but before we get anywhere else, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss any more important updates. We have many times a week to help business owners, online advertisers, and digital marketers get the best from now. Online advertising, paid media, and digital marketing strategies. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, I'm going to go through exactly how you can avoid this. If you do want to boost a post on the Apple iPhone, there's a certain workaround, and I'm going to go through exactly how to do that. Ultimately, you'll be paying more for the same results nearly than if you were to not boost it through an iPhone. Okay, for an Android, through the desktop, you can use a Mac. Okay, don't do it through an iOS app that's connected in the Apple Store. Meta/Facebook app. Okay, don't buy stuff through there because you're going to be paying 30% more and you're going to get 30% less results. So that's really rough. That's really lame. Okay, I'm just going to read this out really quickly so you have some understanding as to why this is happening. Boost on. How to avoid these Apple service fees. Boost on Facebook.com instead. Right, that's really simple, guys. Right. So here's the workaround. Okay, here are the tips and tricks that we need to do. 1, don't use the app. If you have an iPhone, use the browser, go to facebook.com, log into your account, navigate to your page where the post is that you want to promote, and boost the post through the web browser. Don't use the app if you're going to boost a post. And you can do the same on desktop, on a Mac. Use a browser and navigate to the Facebook page. Instead, open up your browser, Google Chrome, Mozilla, Brave, or Go, whatever you're using. Type it into the URL bar and then go to facebook.com and you can boost your post that way. You can navigate to your post through the browser. Boosting on facebook.com has the same features as boosting on the app using your computer or a preferred mobile web browser. So that's one workaround, guys. The second workaround, guys, okay, is adding prepaid funds to your ad account. You can prepay for your ads. You can add money to your account before you want to boost. So if you prepay or if you add funds to your ad account, again, through the facebook.com URL instead of the app, you'll be able to add money there, which then it will take out. And because you prepaid it on an external site that isn't run by Apple, and then you boost a post, then you can go on the Facebook iOS app and you can boost a post that way. Okay, so if you prepay it, then you can use the Apple iPhone to boost a post, okay? And you won't be paying that 30% extra. 30% less results, 30% extra more cost. Another one here, it says boost content from your Meta Business Suite. Okay, so download the app or visit the Meta Business Suite from a computer to manage content across services and boost content without paying the Apple service fee. Okay, finally, my favorite thing at all. Create the ads in the Meta Ads Manager. Okay, so you're downloading the app. When we were trying this, the Meta Business Suite app was allowing us to pay more. And people might say, hey, but the Meta Ads Manager is also available on the Apple iStore. And that's true, right? They've created a workaround whereby the Meta Ads Manager isn't subject to the service fee. So you could be saying, oh no, I've got an Apple iPhone and I'm using it for the Meta Ads Manager. I'm boosting posts there, creating ads and all that kind of stuff. Well, don't worry, guys. Okay. Now through the Meta Business Suite is okay. The Meta Ads Manager is okay. According to the documentation, the Meta Ads Manager, I can concur. We don't get extra services. If you have the Meta Ads Manager installed, this is great. So you won't come into contact with that Apple service tax. Okay. So the Apple service fee, the Apple tax, the annoying extra 30%. We can avoid that. These are some workarounds, right? My favorites, create the ads in the Meta Ad Manager. So guys, just give you a bit of context as well. Here, there are recent changes to how we pay for in-app purchases, specifically for paying for boosted posts on the Facebook and Instagram iOS apps. Okay. So these changes include include using available funds to pay for ads and the addition of Apple service fees and applicable local fees. So just to give you some clarity, as you are paying for this in the Facebook or the Instagram iOS app, it says when you're completing a transaction, the available funds, Apple service fee, local fees, and the total will be shown to you. Okay, so they're going to show you as you do this. Look out for it, guys. Applicable taxes and local fees, if any, are calculated by Apple and are addition to the available funds amount that you can add to your account. Okay, applicable taxes and fees are not kept by Meta. It's solely Apple getting this extra 30%. I just wanted to touch on that as well. How do I add to my account? Funds can be added to your account during the ad creation process or from your account payment settings. And when you're adding your funds from the iOS mobile app for in-app purchases, payment is made through the Apple App Store, which means it's subject. Adding funds to your account from the Facebook or Instagram iOS apps may be subject to Apple service fees and local fees. We don't want that, guys. We don't want to pay extra 30%. We don't want to get 30% extra less results, man. Like, we need to make sure that we're not doing this, okay? So, really important, guys. It's also the same thing for Instagram, okay? If some of you are boosting posts through Instagram iOS app, exactly the same, okay? Exactly the same circumstance here, guys. It's going to charge you for more. You're going to get less results. So, be careful. Don't fall into this trap, okay? They've set this up. It was last year. Some people are still unaware of it. You want to save 30% of your money, give all of the money to Meta and Instagram so that they can go and use all of that money on your ads, on promoting your page and growing the bottom line of your business. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully that was useful to you guys. And let me know if you got any questions. That's it for today, guys. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully that gives you some understanding as to why you shouldn't boost a post with an Apple iPhone using the Meta app, and what you need to do instead, if you have got an Apple iPhone, what you need to do to boost that post. Okay, if you want to boost a post, again, like I said at the beginning, not something I recommend. I'd always recommend creating ads on the Meta Ad Manager because you have a lot more control. You can tinker around a lot more with the technicalities of your ads, and that's something I always recommend. You can fine-tune them to exactly what you need. But if you want to do a quick and easy route and you want to boost a post, make sure that you do it the correct way. You have an Apple iPhone. So take me down below if you got any questions at all. I'm your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard. I appreciate every single one of you. You can add me on Instagram at Jerry Ad Wizard. You can add me on TikTok at Jerry Dreadlocks. You can add me on LinkedIn at Jerry Griffiths. And you can add me at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. If you'd like to know more about harmonizing Meta ads with your ad AI and what you can do, some best practices to ensure that you're training your ad AI and the pixel data that is coming to you. If you want to maximize and harmonize that the best, watch this video over here. Done a walkthrough as to exactly what you need to do for conversion events for your pixel and everything to train your ad AI the best. I'm your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard, and if nothing else, I wish you peace, love, a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.